Wassail, beautiful people. It's a very gentle and soft. So, we've moved now from the Lion's Gateway. See, I'm hearing the embers in the shadows. There's something glistening in the darkness. And we're going to just throw some cards from both decks, the Musical Alchemy Astrology deck and the Liffruma Healing Oracle deck and the Ceramic Runes. It's exciting. So, let's begin. Begin with this one. So just what comes out, see where this goes, who knows. What would you like to share? Poi poi. So 2 cards by the looks of things. Ooh. Solar Eclipse and Quicksilver. Right, it's talking about some kind of new energetic opportunity. The solar eclipse is on the 2nd of October. I think it's 118. Or is that the lunar eclipse arrow series? Sure, I wrote it down. 144. So I've done no work on the eclipse season yet and the Janus Geminis. So the Janus Geminis is the tunnel. It's in ancient Rome. When they went to war, they opened the doors at either end, one for the sun, one for the moon. They went inside, and in the middle there was either a statue of Janus, the two-faced god, head at the front, head at the back, well, face at the front, face at the back, or Saturn. And their prophecy was laid out to see if they would win the war. And they kept the doors open during wars, and in the end, the doors were just always open. There's a message there for ancient Rome. So, so E at the base for the sun. G sharp Quicksilver. A of the moon. So we have this energy of a musical suspension. So this is like, it's almost like there's a suspension coming down within the tunnel that's changing the rhythmic pulse. It's opening a new space. An open, flexible channel is the journey through this Janus Geminis that's coming along. And it's about making space for magic. I like that. So I'm closed or I'm open. It was always open. It's always open, but it has been closed. There's always an energy of things that were once part of the fabric of time, and over the eons they fade and were forgotten. But the cosmos doesn't forget anything. And then there are moments when these frequencies realign and they begin to sing their song again. So in House Aquarius, since 21st of the 12th, 2020, there's been a stellium tear building up in House Aquarius, where planets have made a moment, the moons kissed each one of them, Saturn and Jupiter were on 0 degrees, Pluto's there at the moment. There's like a build-up of a symphonic suspension in House Aquarius at the moment that's very relevant to the collective, and it's bringing up energies into Pisces to be released. These are thoughts. This is the mind that we're dealing with. So I'm being drawn to show you this, the moon coming down over the sun, but this sense of it being mercurial in some way, switching rhythm but not time. Open a channel for change making. Tune yourself into the meandering new music. I'm rigid, I'm flexible. It's almost like this is the limbering up season now, between this Lion's Gateway and the 18th, or the 17th, and the 18th of September. Okay, so what I'm being told to remind us is the coming eclipses are a bit wonky in that they don't all match the lunar nodes position. So the nodes will go from Aries and Libra into Pisces and Virgo, but this eclipse, the lunar eclipse, is in Pisces at 25 degrees and the solar eclipse is in Libra, so they don't match. Just like sometimes the moons don't match, it should always be the new moon followed by its opposite full moon, and sometimes it's the opposite full moon that comes before the new moon, and that's why we get double moons sometimes to correct this, blue moons and black moons. So, oh, that's a lot. Oh, you see, look, there's something coming out of the shadows. There's a spark in the shadows, but this spark is suspended, musical suspension, suspended in time. There's a forgotten memory. Look, what's interesting is there is this card, and hanging within the card is this card, and hanging within this card is this card. It's a forgotten echo at the very rim of the darkness, and it's the nutrients for the journey forwards. Oh, and then look, our life force is our birthright. Rediscovering our life force. Let's get some ceramic. So we have a little story here. Yeah, restoration. Health. 61. Something being restored. 68. Ula. What's being restored? a greater depth to the oneness of our senses. So I see, I hear, I taste, I smell, I feel. I feel with my eyes. I hear with my eyes. This movement of a kind of, the greater the empathic intuition, the closer to being synesthetic, all of your senses working as one. You see, against each other to align each other is what I'm hearing. And then we have Wekened. Wekened is the world watching you. Like the world's waiting for you to notice something. I wonder what that is. Let's see what we get on this Ken, the Divine Spark, Night. You see, I'm being shown, at the very beginning, I was shown that this is an imperfect mirror. 8553, and yet it wanted to say, you see a mirror here, don't you? 38. It's another combination of that numbering. And with the spark of life force, we've got 616. So I'm not quite sure what the knight represents yet, but it's a blocking of the life force. It's the same symbol, but it isn't flowing. It's like this wasn't allowed in to the timeline. It was being, the spark was being held within the shadows because it wasn't the right moment. This is this energy I keep getting of revival of something, a resurrection of the past. So, the past. So, from the past, this is Os, Godmouth. Brom and Dej. It's almost like the divine spark, the first sound, God's own voice, shrouded in history, in the past, in the shadows, but it's still the light beneath the darkness. It doesn't matter how heavy the darkness becomes, the voice of source is love, and it will sweep in and purge. It will move the light from within the shadows and bring it through the shadows and into the light. Why? Why is it doing that? Sigil and Idel. Sigil and Idel, what are you doing? Oh, that's a big pile. So Feor, which is 30, fire. Aether, the future. This is towardness, 32, and that's the norn of the future, Skuld. And then we have 5, Raid, which is a journey. And then we have Watergefell, which is 60, 54, Divine 9. Oh yeah, 60's Earth Masion. And then we have 56, which is change, a wind of change, the vane, the cockerel on top of a building moving with the wind. There's something here about the pieces being rearranged, and as the pieces are rearranged, a different pathway is forming out of darkness into light, out of being blocked into fluidity, into this waterfall. It's almost like the vein is sitting atop a cosmic river, and as this water pours in, you see, I want to say that the weather vane changes direction, but it's almost like the weather vane is drowned. It goes beneath the surface. Like there are more emotions coming to the surface than we previously understood. And this is all linked because Sigil is the sun to what's coming just after the solar eclipse. I feel very much like I'm seeing an Janus Geminis of darkness, and that's a really interesting concept because it's always, I've always seen it as a lit temple, but there's something in this about touching feeling your way through this Janus Geminis. I don't know what that means, but it's got me excited. So let's just go back to the Musical Alchemy Astrology deck. I want to say there's something about waking up. And because I want to yawn right now. And I know that at the moment, a lot of people are feeling physically depleted. But this is about, you know, being awoken, you know, very much like a fairy tale, like a cosmic kiss awakenings. Crocus of Mars. See, Crocus of Mars is... It's a midway point between an octave. There's perfection inside this Janus Geminis. Moving through, there is a banquet of love. It's almost like those restaurants when you go and you sit and have a meal in total darkness. That's what I'm picking up here. Hidden hermetic secret. Like this Janus Geminis is a 13-stage meditation in darkness. Do we have to sit in darkness to do it? Is this about the night? I think this is about an Janus Geminus. Look, it makes perfect sense in truth. You know, a solar eclipse, well, a lunar eclipse is when the shadow of the Earth falls across the moon. And then the solar eclipse, which is something like 7 minutes, 20, I can see 25 of darkness. This is something about experiencing nighttime meditations, not dreams. So there are things coming through in dreams that are being lost. This is about meditating in pitch darkness 13 times, and then coming out into the light. Oh, this is going to be exciting. Because I was wondering the other day, what will each of the columns represent? See, I feel like they're nutrients of the light coming through. Interesting. I am becoming I. I is to action something. Can we have a little bit more about this Janus Geminus, this eclipse tunnel coming? You see, I felt like that was part of something I said at the beginning to do with the shadows. Identifying stuck shadows, like they're saying you won't find these shadows in the light. You'll only find the shadows in the pitch black darkness. It's almost like we're being asked to do see, diamagnetic prospecting, digging for gold against the grain of what all of your wealth of spiritual knowledge is telling you to this point. It's that energy of the dormant ice volcanoes. Things hidden in the ice, like the salt rime, in the Gununga Gap, the Orthumbla, the Holy Cow licks. These are the lost remembrances. You see, and I want to say from the land of trolls. From the land of trolls. I don't even know what that means. Can we have one more clue? Can we have one more clue? There's a splattering on the floor, and there's one here. This is a self-coronation. This is the most magnificent being in your element, Regulus. A new inner resonance. I need to get these. I think there's just the two. Moon in Scorpio, Moon in Taurus. You see, I'm immediately being told this was the last series for the nodal eclipses. They were in Taurus and Scorpio. There was something that you were meant to see, or we were meant to see, during that season, but it wasn't the right time. Well, then we weren't meant to see it. It's almost like this energy hasn't let go of the eclipse season. It's almost like besting bet noirs, comfort seeking. There's something in this frequency that has to do with the Minotaur and the Labyrinth. Pleasure-driven sensuality, sensual earthed emotions. You see, I want to say there's something in here which it has something to do with the most resplendent sexual merging that wasn't possible until now. It's very it's seductive, it's appealing, and it's calling, and it's something that you will experience, but there's something about the energy of it where this isn't going away. This will carry with us as we go through all of these new series, and this is still rolling in the background, and it's waiting to come and be in your element. It's a particular kind of soul merging, physical, not, but it can't, the physical, so the physical merging can't take place until the emotional, the spiritual has also been explored. Sounds like fun though, but it is physically actioned. It is an I am, it's not a thought. You've got to do the I am me first. You've got to understand the inspiration. You've got to understand the heartfelt emotion. But then this physical, it's like tuning your cells' bells so that you and another are just vibrating like you are bells, and this sense of pleasure is ringing the same frequency from both of you, but it's physical and it's emotional and it's spiritual. Let's see what comes. Interesting. I think I just need sigil, the sun, early magic, it has begun. It is a destiny. And there it is, 60. Earth Masion, the oldest metabolic cycle completed, coming into being earth-seeded in your true physical frequency and merging and chiming with another in absolute divine union. Bring it on. I'll see you.